Hey guys, it is Laurence here, and in today's video, I'm going to walk you through how we booked 182, to be precise, sales calls last month purely through cold email. I know what you're thinking, this guy's probably full of BS, so just sharing my screen, this is our Calendly account. As you can see, from the 1st of Jan to the 31st, today is the 19th of Feb. So last month, we generated 182 sales calls. We did all of that without spending anything on paid ads. So I'm going to walk you through exactly how we did it. There's a few things that need to be in place, and a lot of the work that allowed us to generate those 182 sales calls did not happen in that month of January. It happened before, and I want to kind of go over a little bit of that. So there's a few things that we need to have in place. The first is fundamentals, which I'll cover, and then it's about a few other things that will really make or break a campaign. It's where the money is made, basically, and it's where most people fall foul. It's where they don't even get to that stage. So I'm going to cover that in a lot more detail as well. Let's look at the fundamentals. The fundamentals are twofold. There's two things that we need in order to make sure that your campaign is going to work. The way that we got those 182 sales calls was through cold email. There's lots of strategies we could have implemented that we know how to implement, but cold email is consistently the most effective. And you can generally get more than enough sales calls purely through cold email without needing to do anything else. So here's what we did. And there's two things that we need, as I say. And if you get one of these things wrong, then it doesn't work. You need to get both of them right. So the first thing is making sure that what you're saying is delivered in a really unique and a really compelling way. Because if somebody doesn't read your message, doesn't consume your message, whether they watch it, read it, whatever they do, if they don't consume it, they're never going to book a sales call. So it's really important that we actually get them to consume the message. And that should be a 50% focus of what you try to do when it comes to the fundamentals, is getting somebody to actually consume your message. And I don't mean open your email, but I mean genuinely, like whether it's watch a video, it needs to be packaged in a way that is really unique, really compelling, and breaks their thinking pattern. Because when somebody's going through their inbox, what they're actually doing is they're treating it as a to-do list. They're thinking, I don't need to watch that, I don't need to go through that, I don't need to do that, delete, 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 delete. And I'm sure your inbox, if it's anything like mine, you get a dozen emails every single day that you know are cold emails, you just delete them, right? And we want to make sure that your emails don't fall into that category within your prospect's mind. So it needs to be packaged in a unique, different way, something that they haven't seen or heard of before. And we also need to make sure that we are putting something very enticing in front of them. So we've ticked the box of getting them to actually watch or consume our message. The next thing we need to do is we need to make sure that message is actually genuinely interesting and solves a problem in your prospect's business. Because if we are sending them some form of messaging and they're not really interested in it, doesn't matter how good we've packaged it, doesn't matter about anything, it ain't going to work. That's why it's really important we get both of these things right. And only when we get both right will it work. You get one of them wrong, unfortunately, it ain't going to happen. So we need to make sure that we are solving a problem that keeps your prospects up at night. And we're positioning your services, whether you're a coach, a consultant, or an agency, we're positioning your services as the vehicle to either get them to their goal or take them away from their current situation, or possibly both. The main crux to remember is everybody behind a business is a human being. They all ultimately want to go towards their goals and they want to go away from pain. And we need to just position ourselves as a vehicle to do that very thing, to basically make that transition for your prospect. So when we position our services to do that and we package it in a very unique way, that's how you get attention. That's how you get people to sit up and take notice and consume your message. And that's going to get you part of the way to generating, say, 182 sales calls like we did last month.
Hey, just real quick, sorry to interrupt the video, but I just wanted to let you know of our brand new free course that we have just launched that takes you through how to book more appointments on your sales calendar through cold email. The course is completely free, comes with a free community as well, where there's live calls where you can ask me anything, get your questions answered. The second link in the description is going to take you to the free course, as I say, completely free, and it's going to walk you through how to get success from your cold email campaigns. So I will leave it there and enjoy the rest of the video.
But it's not everything. There is one more thing. And this is where most people don't, this is what they don't do. And this is going to be responsible for a lot of success, basically. There's a lot of low-hanging fruit that people miss out on. And the reason they miss out on it because that low-hanging fruit is boring and it's a bit dull. But if you like money, and you probably do, otherwise you wouldn't be watching this video, then you need to do what I'm about to share. And if you're getting value from this video, by the way, you know what to do. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. What we need to do is we need to track, test, and optimize. That is the thing that's going to make you a lot of money through cold outreach. It's to track, to test, and to optimize. And without doing those three things, you are acting at a very surface level with your outreach. You're going to get very minimal results. And there's a whole well of growth waiting for you. You just need to reach down and grab it. But most people don't, because tracking and testing and optimizing, it's boring, it takes time, it's just not fun. But we need to get a bit of traction, a few results from, making sure we've got a compelling message and we're delivering it in a compelling way. And then we can start to really, really kind of crank things up, basically. When it comes to tracking, testing, optimizing, there's that 80-20 principle coming into effect. There's 20% of the metrics that you could test that are going to provide you with 80% of the results. And I'll explain what those metrics that you should be tracking and should be trying to improve are. So the first one is going to be your open rate. Now, when you track your open rate, you are tracking more than just your open rate. You are also tracking your deliverability rate without really realizing it. You're not necessarily actually looking at what percentage of emails got delivered, but you will know roughly what your deliverability rate is going to be, or whether it's going to be a problem if you just track your open rate. So you can track your open rate. That's going to give you your deliverability. That's going to give you your actual open rate. And that's going to tell you how effective your subject line is as well. And once you track it, you then need to do things, and this is where most people don't do. They fall foul here and they stop because it's boring. But what you actually need to do is you need to then do things to try and improve that open rate. So you might send less emails from a particular email address. You might send more emails. You might spread the time of which you send those emails out over a greater period of time. So you're sending emails less frequently, maybe. You might change the subject line. You might put a little test underneath the subject line, that pre-header text. You might split test that. There's certain things that you need to do to try and improve that open rate, basically. And what you want to do is you want to track what changes you've made and what results those changes created. Did your open rate go up? Did it go down? If it went down, why do you think it went down? Did the deliverability stay the same? And you can kind of go into that metric afterwards if you need to. Was it the subject line? Did it not perform as well? That sort of stuff. So the open rate is going to be one of the biggest metrics that you can measure that's going to give you a really good indication over the health of your campaign. The next metric that you want to not only track, but then test and optimize is going to be your appointment booking rate. Now, this is going to be the North Star or the keystone metric that every campaign is going to have. It's going to be your number one KPI. How many leads did you contact? And from those leads, how many booked in a call? That's your appointment booking rate. And that should be your main focal point. Obviously, if your open rate sucks, then your appointment booking rate is going to suck as well. So we need to make sure that we fix that first. Otherwise, nobody's going to consume your message. So appointment booking rate is going to be the next kind of 80-20 metric to measure. Because if your appointment booking rate is good, then great, just increase the volume and make sure that that open rate stays roughly the same. If it's not good, then it means that your messaging is probably wrong, or your offer is wrong, or maybe that you're delivering that message in a kind of dull, uninspired way. So once you have that metric, it allows you to then dive a little bit deeper into other metrics. That's then going to open up opportunities, open up ways to improve the performance of the campaign. And going back to the start of the videos, how we generate 182 sales calls every single month, it's by doing this continual testing. And what we do and what our clients do actually is we kind of supercharge everything I've just talked about. And you can do the same. So instead of just testing the open rate and the appointment booking rate, you can test and track every single metric. And not only that, you can do it across multiple different funnels at the same time. So you can test one strategy here, another strategy here, another strategy here. And although it creates a little bit of a complex web in terms of testing, tracking, launching new campaigns and testing different metrics and split testing across different campaigns at the same time, it can be a little bit overwhelming unless you have the systems in place. But that's what you can do. If you really want to squeeze as much, you want to get as much juice out of the squeeze as possible. And that's what it's all about. People will basically just get a little bit of a squeeze, a little bit of juice out of the squeeze, and then when they have to squeeze too hard, it becomes a little bit too difficult, then they stop and they go and try and squeeze something else. But there's a lot left in it. There's a lot more to be had from your current outreach strategies if only you were patient enough to to track, to test, to optimize. And that's what it boils down to. So it was a combination for us of being able to get a really compelling message in place, deliver it in a really compelling way, and then split test every element of the funnel to make sure that we're able to get as much juice from the squeeze as possible. And that's how we got 182 sales calls on our calendar. And that's how you're going to be able to do the same as well. And if you want help, if you want us to come in and build these systems for you, then below this video in the description, you guessed it, you're going to find a link where you can schedule a call to speak with myself directly. And I'll explain exactly what we do, how it works, how you can get results similar to us, and start having a predictable, profitable way to generate more sales calls and sign more clients. And you can do all of that without spending any money on ads, just like we have done. I hope you got value from this video. I hope this has helped. If you've got any questions at all, pop them below. And if you want to find out how we can help, as I say, click that link to schedule in a call. Don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, help the channel grow, and I will see you on the next one.